Hello and welcome to News at 10 on TV3 and 3FM 92.7. We're broadcasting live from the news hub at Adisawe Kanda in Accra. And wherever you are around the world, you can follow our live stream on Facebook and on 3news.com. I'm Stephen NT. Now, a summary of the major news highlights of the day. Special Prosecutor Nominee Martin Alamisi Amidu says Ghana will not need any foreign aid if corruption is uprooted in the country. He was reacting to a question posed on Ghana's corruption stand by the vetting committee in Parliament. Mr. Amidu also says that he's the best man for the job. The self-acclaimed citizen vigilante says he has in the past performed a lot of scrutiny on government contracts before they were passed, and that alone is a guarantee. His vetting session will go down as the longest. And the Accra Metropolitan Assembly says efforts to avert floods in the capital would continue. The Chief Resilience and Sustainability Advisor to the AMA, Desmond Appiah, gave the assurance during a tour of affected communities. And President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has appointed Mrs. Elsie Awaji as the second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Mrs. Awaji is an international economic and financial lawyer with a total of 21 years of professional experience working in various capacities in Ghana and abroad. Those were our major news highlights. Remember, we're live on 3FM 92.7, and you can also hear us live and watch us on Facebook.com as well as 3news.com. Up next is the big one. Welcome back. Now, the Special Prosecutor Nominee, Martin Alamisi Amidu, says he is the best man for the job. The self-acclaimed citizen vigilante says he has in the past performed a lot of scrutiny on government contracts before they were passed, and that alone is a guarantee.
Vetting by the appointment committee went ahead despite an outstanding case at the Supreme Court seeking clarification on the age of the nominee and how it might contradict certain laws on public offices. As expected, the vetting started on a very high note.
In my learning and understanding, children are children. When they attain the age of majority, they legally are adults and no more children. So my understanding is that I have no control over these three adults. And if I attempt to control them, I could be in legal trouble.
If you said that children, when they graduate into adulthood, cease to be children, then you are rewriting the whole of succession laws. And the whole of inheritance will be cancelled. And therefore, by operation of law, insofar as somebody comes out of your loins, even if it's 90 years and you are 150 years, that person remains a child and can inherit you. So, Senior, I do not share your view at all.
The nominee was not only made to defend or clarify past statements, especially articles he had published, but to speak to what made him the most suitable candidate for the post of the Special Prosecutor. There were moments where the nominee seemed either infuriated or incensed by questions from members of the committee.
I was the approval for me to go for 2 weeks and come back. And indeed, the government was interested in my program. That is what you have the Alternative Dispute Act from. That is how the judiciary came to deal with conflict resolution, right? And to improve upon it. That is why I spearheaded the National Peace Council Act into Parliament. I enriched my knowledge to be able to fulfill my duties at my own private time.
And the Special Prosecutor nominee, Martin Amido, says that Ghana will not need any foreign aid if corruption is uprooted in the country. He was reacting to a question posed on Ghana's corruption stand by the Vetting Committee in Parliament.
Corruption has done so much damage to this country. In the conflict resolution, it is called structural violence. It's an invisible violence that kills millions without anybody seeing it. Taking millions of cedis for oneself under illegal circumstances deprives people of good health, education, and all the developmental facilities you can give. So what I want to do is to be able to set up a credible institution with a credible culture, which will be able to block the leakages and the seepages. If I'm able to do that, I don't care even whether I am not able to prosecute anybody. And part of the law says that it is preventative, right? So if I can put the machinery in place to prevent these leakages and seepages, I can assure you that if we succeed, we won't need foreign aid. I will say, with knocking my chest, that the amount of seepages and leakages at the ports, if we were to close them, our budget will not need foreign assistance. And that is why I accepted this job.
Right, you're still watching News at 10 and listening to us on Radio 92.7. We'll be right back with more news. Please stay. Welcome back. Now, a 12-year-old girl lost her life at Kaneshie when Accra experienced flash floods after this morning's rain. The meteorological agency is warned of more rains even before the harmattan ends by April.
Residents in part of the capital woke up to rains despite the harmattan. Areas including Kaneshie, Abosokai, Kwame Nkrumah Interchange, Nima Highway and Tank Hill were flooded, leading to vehicular traffic. 12-year-old JHS student Mildred Kofi from North Kaneshie lost her life while taking shelter in front of this container at Ogle Road on her way to school during the rains. The whole area was reportedly flooded.
By 6 o'clock in the morning, and the friend said,
it was around 6 in the morning when I was informed that a girl had died in front of my house. I came through the rain to see her lying dead, but didn't know what exactly led to her demise, so I reported to the police.
Her distraught mother, Vivian, could not speak to the news team. The deceased grandmother said she warned her not to leave the house till the rains stopped.
I asked her to wait, so I thought she had gone to her room. I called her later when the rains had stopped. She was nowhere to be found. Minutes later, I heard the news of her death.
Residents at Ogle Road blamed the floods on an uncovered pit dug by a telecommunication company, which prevented the rainwater from entering the gutters. City authorities have been battling flooding over the years, promising to end it. However, drainage systems are in poor shape while structures remain on waterways. Heaps of garbage remain uncollected, washing into drains anytime it rains. Senior meteorologist at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Tete Potofi, warned of more rains in the coming weeks.
Likely to see some of these ones before the month of April, May. And it's also a warning to all of us, because this is the time we need to start planning. We need to start desilting our chill gutters and remove obstacles on waterways. Because if you want to wait for the actual rainy season to come, I don't think any of us will move in Accra, because this small rain, which cannot even measure up to 30 millimeters of rain, and that has caused a lot of flooding.
The rains, which started a few minutes to 6 in the morning and lasted about 1.5 hours, caused massive traffic in parts of the capital.
Meanwhile, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly says efforts to avert floods in the capital would continue. The Chief Resilience and Sustainability Advisor to the AMA, Desmond Appiah, gave the assurance during a tour of affected communities.
TV3 made a quick stop at the Korle Lagoon site in Accra, where heavy-duty equipment meant to dredge the Korle Lagoon were idle. The lagoon has been identified as the cause of heavy flooding anytime it rains. A downpour Tuesday morning caused the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to take a tour of some sites, and the Chief Resilience and Sustainability Advisor to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Desmond Appiah, has been explaining the extent of damage.
We got some reports about some flooding in Obechebi, Lamte area. I think that was about the biggest area of concern. There was also some water at Circle and a few other areas.
Despite Tuesday morning's floods, Mr. Desmond Appiah says the AMA is prepared for the rains in June.
The desilting has started in a number of areas, and some more contracts have been given out to get it going, all in anticipation of the major rainy season which is coming up.
Meanwhile, the immediate past mayor of Accra, Alfred Okovandapoy, who supervised the dredging of the Korle Lagoon and by extension the Odo River in 2016, warns of disaster if government does not resume dredging of the lagoons immediately.
Dredging of the Korle Lagoon is a very significant strategy that must take place. Look, it does not have to rain in Accra for Accra to receive massive refuse in the city. If it rains in the eastern region, the rain that is coming down come to Accra with heavy loads of refuse.
And the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Bedu Sarkodie, is advocating an infectious disease hospital and a ring-fenced budget for public emergencies in Ghana. He was reacting to the Lassa Fever alert following outbreaks in neighboring countries.
Lassa fever is an acute viral hemorrhagic illness between 2 and 21 days transmitted to humans via contacts with food or household items contaminated with rodent urine or feces. Lassa fever is known to be endemic in Benin, where it was diagnosed for the first time in November 2014. It was diagnosed for the first time in Ghana in October 2011. The overall case fatality rate is 1%. 31 persons have already died of the disease in Nigeria. Here in Ghana, the health service is on the alert.
Should there be a case for now, we can be very definite to detect it, pick the necessary lab tests for specimens for investigation, and then we can manage it appropriately and adequately within the country. The first thing to do, one, prevent contact with of the animal, the rat, to humans.
Revealed there are holding centers to handle cases.
There's up to about 12 to 20 bed facility in Tema. That one, it's that well designed infection prevention center, but then it's not hospital. Up north in Tamale Teaching Hospital. CAT has a holding facility, but then as a regional hospital, the facility to serve the mid zone, Chapatre Hospital.
Dr. Bedu Sarkodie added there is a monitoring system in place at the various entry points.
The Port Health staff are sensitized started. We are intensifying it over the period. They are continuously doing the temperature check of passengers. So this process has started at the various points of entry.
Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research is a facility for laboratory testing of Lassa fever in Kanchi and for Togo as well.
And tomorrow, February 14, is Valentine's Day, a day cherished and celebrated by lovers and sometimes family and friends. In Ghana, the day doubles as National Chocolate Day to promote made in Ghana chocolates.
Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and Valentine's Day is here again. For most people, it is a good time to share and experience love with the people we care about. In the last few years, the day has been greatly commercialized.
Last year's Val's Day was a bit slow, but I think this year is a bit better than last year because we get a lot of people walking in and making a lot of enquiries.
For many shops, it is time to bring in extra sales by running different promotions. Many people buy gifts for their loved ones and expect to receive gifts in return. The mood is mixed as certain vendors believe previous years were more profitable, while other shops are very happy with the sales being made.
Last year, there was a little bit of a hype around the Val's Day as compared to this year. This year, the footfall to the mall has been pretty low, even though we have promos and stuff ongoing on for the Val's. Yes, my wife, I have, but then I'm yet to give it to her, so I'm planning on surprising her.
We have been here since Monday, and business is booming. I've actually planned to get one for my parents, and I'm hoping to send a dispatch rider to take it to them.
In 2007, then Minister of Tourism and Diasporan Relations, the late Jake Obechebi-Lamte, commissioned the day as National Chocolate Day to promote made in Ghana chocolate.
I know many people will be switching off their phones and data tomorrow, but don't do that. Share love with your loved ones. Let's move to the courts now. An Accra Circuit Court has sentenced 2 of the suspects who escaped during the attack on the Kwabena police station to 30 months each in prison. The 2 were convicted and sentenced on their own plea.
The 2, Prince Osei and Atakojo, pleaded guilty to charges of abetment to escape lawful custody and escaping lawful custody. So the 2 escapees from the Kwabena police station attack have been sentenced to 30 months in prison, and these were based on 2 counts, that is count 3 and count 4 per the charge sheet. And when you look at it, it means that they should have served 60 months in all, which is equivalent to 5 years. But because the sentences are going to run concurrently, in short, they are going to spend 30 months, which is equivalent to 2.5 years in prison. A third accused, Kofi Dako, pleaded not guilty to the charges. Counsels for the 10 other persons made oral applications for bail for their client. Lawyer for Nancy Denta, the 4th accused person, argued that the accused, being a mother to a 6-year-old child, needs to be granted bail based on circumstances in which she finds herself. Bernard Oredu maintained that Nancy is gainfully employed and will not risk running away comparable to staying with her 6-year-old son. He added she is ready to avail herself for the full trial. Other counsels argue for their client, with counsel for the 5th accused person, George Yeboah, insisting that he is willing to go to the long haul for the trial, adding that George Yeboah is a church worker and a strong Christian who was only picked up because the first accused claimed some of his accomplices lived in a compound house and the police rounded up all the young men in the house. The judge, Abwajitano, however, set February 26 to give a ruling on the bail applications. 9 other persons accused of attacking the police station have been charged with abetment to escape from lawful custody. According to the facts as presented by prosecution, on the eve of Thursday, January 18, 2018, the 4th accused person brought a mobile phone to Dixon Ofori in the cells, and he used same to contact his people outside to execute the plan.
That's how we wrap up with News at 10. Thank you very much for making time. On behalf of the crew, good night. And for those of you who left your dial on 3FM 92.7, thank you for staying with us. Good night.